Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Cakes by MK. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this epic sandwich cake. Believe it or not, this sandwich cake is actually really popular in certain places around the world, such as Sweden, and it's just the perfect option for someone who is an absolute savory lover and would prefer to have the most delicious sandwich as opposed to a sweet cake. If you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button below and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you're updated whenever I upload a new video. Apart from that, stay tuned and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So the first step to making this sandwich cake is to prepare our bread, which is going to act as like our cake layers for our sandwich cake. So what I've got here is I've just got some regular bread. I did get a slightly thicker cut, so it's a little bit thicker than say your normal sandwich bread. Now it does help when your kind of, cake layers, aka your bread, is slightly thicker because it just helps to kind of layer the sandwich layers a lot easier. So if you can find a slightly thicker bread, then do that. Otherwise, normal sandwich bread is fine as well. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm simply going to grab a piece of the bread and I'm going to cut off the crust. And when you're doing this, just make sure that you're not kind of pushing down on the piece of bread, otherwise you're going to flatten your bread, which we don't want. We want to try and keep it as nice and fluffy as possible. Okay, so I've got my little kind of bread slice there without its crust, and I'm going to do the exact same thing with 3 other pieces of bread. Okay, now once you've got the crust off, what you want to do next is you want to place your 4 pieces of bread that you've just cut next to each other into a square. Now the next thing that I'm doing is I'm just grabbing a saucer which I've got here and I'm simply going to flip it over and just gently drop it on top of my 4 slices of bread. And you want to make sure the saucer is the right size so it kind of just, fits around that kind of edge of the 4 pieces of bread. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm simply going to use my serrated knife to just very gently cut the edges of the bread off so that I'm left with a circular shape. And now I'm just going to lift up my saucer and you should be left with 4 pieces of triangular shaped bread which combine together to make a nice round circle. So this is what's going to act as your cake layer. So I have prepared some earlier. So these are the ones that I prepared earlier. And I'm just going to place the ones that I just made on top. And so all together I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cake layers, which means that I'm going to have 5 fillings in the middle of my cake layers. So yeah, now the next thing to do is to simply start stacking your cake. So to fill my sandwich cake today, I've got a whole bunch of different things here and it smells absolutely incredible, so I can't wait to put this cake together. So what I've got here is I've got some beef and chicken salami, which has been smoked. I've got some cucumber, tomato, some mayo, which I have mixed some whole grain mustard in, but you can keep your mayo plain or even, mix whatever other kind of things you like in it. And then I've also got some red onion, some gherkins, some romaine lettuce, some cheese, and then I've also got a whole bunch of cream cheese, which is going to act as my icing for the outside of my cake once we're finished stacking it all up. Now I'm just using an acrylic disc here as my cake board, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some of that cream cheese to act as my kind of glue to stick my cake to. I'm just going to put a little bit onto my cake board and then I'm going to put my first layer of bread on top. Okay, so that looks like it's nicely in the middle. Now to build this first layer, I'm going to start off by spreading mayo all across the 4 pieces of bread, and then I'm going to add some chicken salami as well as some red onion and romaine lettuce. Okay, so I have got my first layer of toppings on, and I'm going to go ahead and put my next layer of sandwich bread on top. I'm just going to press it down very gently just to make sure everything's kind of nicely stuck together. Now for the next layer, I'm going to go ahead and put some mayo on again, and then I'm going to put some of the beef salami and some tomato. Now just remember that you guys can fill this cake with whatever you like, so you can mix and match the toppings based on whatever, your favorite fillings are. The mayo part is quite important, so whether you're using mayo or you can even just use cream cheese or anything that's kind of soft on each of the layers before you put the toppings on top, because this is what's going to help the 4 pieces of individual bread stick together nicely so that it doesn't kind of completely fall apart. So it's kind of like your icing, which is sticking your layers together. And now I'm going in with my next layer. So again, for this layer, I'm going to go in with my mayo, and then I'm going to put some cucumber and cheese on top. Now for this next layer, I'm again putting the mayo, and then I'm going to put some chicken salami with some gherkins. Now for my last layer, I'm going to put the mayo on the top, and then I'm going to finish off with the rest of my beef salami as well as some romaine lettuce and some onion. Okay, so my cake is all stacked now. It's looking pretty good. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cream cheese, and I'm just going to spread it all around the top and the edges of my cake, kind of like a crumb coat. And all I did was I just whipped my cream cheese with a hand mixer just for about a minute, just to make it really nice and smooth so that it's easy to spread onto my cake. Don't worry if the top is not very even, because we can come and fix that later. And now I'm just quickly cleaning up the sides before I go ahead and put the cream cheese all around the edges. Now I'm just going ahead and starting to fill some cream cheese in the areas of my cake which are kind of drooping down at the top so that I have a nice flat top. Okay, so I have done my crumb coat on my cake now, and I'm going to pop it into the fridge for about an hour, and then we're going to come back and finish icing this cake, and then we're going to cut into it to see what it looks like. So my cake is out of the fridge now. It was cooling in there for about an hour, which gave the cream cheese some time to firm up a bit, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my final layer of buttercream or cream cheese. So for my final layer of buttercream, what I've got here is I've got some cream cheese which I dyed with a little bit of gel food color, yellow gel food color. Now if you want to keep it completely natural, you can also use natural colors like a bit of turmeric, or if you want it to be a nice purpley color, you can use beetroot. But yeah, I just use gel color for that, and I'm going for kind of like an ombre look. So I'm going to use the yellow on the bottom and also do a little bit of piping on the top with the yellow, but the rest of the cake's just going to be plain white cream cheese. And this cream cheese is super smooth, so it's literally like you're just using normal buttercream to ice the cake. So I'm just doing it in exactly the same way as I would decorate a cake using buttercream. Now I'm just blending the yellow and the white cream cheese together a little bit before I go ahead and scrape it with my cake scraper. So I have smoothed out the sides and the top, and I'm just going to go ahead and do some really simple piping with the yellow on top of my cake, and I'm just using a large round tip nozzle for that. And that is basically it. So my sandwich cake is all done. I kept mine really simple, but you can continue to decorate this cake however you like. The cream cheese buttercream is really beautiful to pipe with, so you can do some really cool piping with it and decorating with it. You can even use the fillings that you used inside your cake to decorate the top. You can even use edible flowers. It's completely up to you. But yeah, that's basically my sandwich cake all done, and I'm going to cut into the cake to see what it looks like. So I've just cut through the cake and the layers look absolutely incredible and it smells amazing. This is truly the perfect treat for someone who is an absolute savory lover and would prefer to have something savory over sweet when it comes to a special occasion like their birthday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and thanks again for watching Cakes by MK.